Why does it keep jumping? Damn. Oh well. I never get the thumbnails, so.
About people that you've had.
Known as EM. Alright, here we go. Okay, start from the beginning, ladies and gentlemen. You were previously with EMGG. Now that you are back, what has changed the most?
The membership numbers are through the roof in comparison to what EMGG used to be. You see everybody in chat and they're just like, oh, what's up? You know, I haven't seen you all week, or I haven't seen you in a couple days, this, and this. And, you know, they get all excited, and it's a good time, you know. And then you see all these like groups that form like in Hangout that you wouldn't even think that like would get together, and it's just everybody's in there just vibing. So it's just like, if for me, like community kind of like kicks that off with like the events, and like for example this podcast, like I wouldn't know half the things that I know about people that you've had on the podcast if it weren't for the podcast.
Spoiler alert, this was one of the first episodes we did where like I don't think we actually like were like trying to laugh or have jokes. It was just literally genuinely getting to know someone. Since Lauryn, yo, what's up, Strike? Since Lauryn was like basically on the podcast because she joined community team. We were literally like, that was our plan, was to get her on the podcast and then announce her. That was literally like the sole reason why we did it with her, and it was really cool to get to know her. And basically we threw in a question directly to her about saying, hey, you're gonna join community team pretty much. So it was a lot of fun. This episode was fun to do. Let's get into it. Yo, welcome to the meeting before the meeting podcast, where the community kicks things off on a Sunday. I'm your host, ScottySlays, otherwise known as EMGG Scotty, everybody's second favorite community member for Eastern Media GG. Alongside with me is the director of community team himself, Crouton, otherwise known as EMGG DJ One Bread. Yo, bud, 0, 1, 2.
Yo, this means 3.
Of course, I was muted. It's funny. Like, you know what's sad? I'm gonna just keep my mic unmuted, and if you hear me crunching, I'm sorry. But the fun fact about this, about the intro of the podcast, is when I say yo, the reason I originally said it was because I was nervous. I would actually sit there and go, like, it's awkward during the recording because obviously you record like it's live. We don't record it like it's like pre-recorded, basically, too much. We throw in some aspects, but yeah, the yo part was because I was always nervous the first 4 or 5 episodes, and now it's kind of funny looking back that I still do it every single episode, but I'm not as nervous as I was in like episode 1 in the pilot episode. So it's kind of cool.
Full months of the meeting.
How something that turned nervous has kind of turned into a weird trademark for me for the show.
Before the meeting podcast.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? But it is my pleasure and privilege to introduce our guest this evening, a two-time member of Eastern Media, former community team director, the one, the only,
It was funny because when he said two-time, I was thinking of Dr. Disrespect in my head. Like, oh, like the two-time violence beat momentum. Like that immediately came to mind when I heard two-time. And that's why I chuckled.
3 Resolve, aka Lauryn. Lauryn, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for joining us. So, you know the rundown. You've seen the episodes. We know you've seen the episodes because you've submitted questions, and we love the questions we get from you. So, thank you. Keep killing it with the questions. So let's get into it. So, Lauryn, what has been your favorite episode of the podcast so far, and what are your thoughts on the podcast?
So I feel like every episode where you ask the guests like what their favorite episode has been, I kind of like work it through my mind, and I struggle every week. To be honest, Zim's episode is probably one of my favorites just because you get to learn about the history of EM and, you know, kind of like the inner workings, like staff, director, higher up, and how everything comes into play. Maze, I love his episode and probably always will, just because of the soundboard and him constantly like censoring himself with the bleep.
It was fantastic. It was fantastic to have him do that.
We'll get into all the episodes at some point. Like literally, I think what I'm gonna do each week is do 2 to 3 episodes. Like literally, while I'm eating dinner, like we're gonna play an episode, like every single time, and then I'm gonna post like the later clip on YouTube. So it's gonna be exciting to kind of go back, watch all. Because believe it or not, I haven't watched. When I edit these podcasts, I actually don't watch all the episodes like through when I edit. The only ones I have were the first couple. And then like Zim's. All the other ones I really don't watch because like, not because they're bad or anything. It's just like, I have a hard time like listening to myself like back like immediately because maybe like I'm like tough on myself or something like that, or kind of like just realize how annoying I can be sometimes. So
for the longest time too, like I never actually watched the episodes. Like I would listen to them on my Bluetooth on Spotify, like when I'm driving home from work on a Monday. So it's just kind of funny, like to even hear him like bleeping himself, and I knew he was doing it, like, and then to turn around and come home and watch it on YouTube and just watch him just constantly like hammering on the button just made it that much better.
It's been, that honestly, the Maze episode is possibly one of my favorite ones. So
yeah. For sure.
All right. So now that we know your thoughts on the podcast, who exactly is EMGGR3? Let us know. Let the people know. Get into your story.
So
you know the deal.
Yeah. I'm just like I'm a gamer of all sorts. So I started back. Gosh, I was little. My older brother had a.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
The Sega, and I learned how to play Golden Axe, and that was probably one of my favorite all-time games for a really, really long time. I kind of fell off, played Mario Kart here and there. We had an N64, got a PC with Windows 95 on it, and ran a bunch of, you know, the CD-ROM games on there. Nothing really too crazy. Learned how to work with computers and on them super early on. And then turned around, and I think it was like middle school, I got into playing StarCraft competitively. Okay. So yeah, that's kind of where everything kind of took off. So, yep, just and then I evolved into content creating. Started streaming 2011, I want to say, on Twitch. Kind of took breaks here and there, but then took it more serious probably 2016, and then moved to the West Coast. And Yeah, now I'm here. So I'm like the little satellite member of EM when you guys are all on the East Coast. That's fun.
See, I
Is
feel
that a
like I
dog
got
behind
into
her?
gaming and streaming at such a late time. Like, I didn't start streaming till 20.
It's crazy, like, to see Marsha in all
what
the
I did, too.
episodes. Like,
Yeah.
she's been in that couch
But I
every
mean,
single
granted,
episode.
I mean, I'm the old guy.
And from like my
Anyways.
webcam and stuff. It's really, it's kind of funny.
Than me.
No, I'm the old guy. I'm the old, Scotty, I'm the old guy in the group.
I think
It's
you have just like a couple years on me, so you're not. that old.
I mean, so I graduated high school in 2003.
I graduated in 07, so you're
Okay.
not that far ahead of me.
So I got a couple. Yeah, I'm still the older guy in the group, but yeah. So
Yeah.
So as I said before, you are our first two-time EMGG member guest on the podcast.
Yeah.
So let us know about your EMGG journey and experience, both the first time around and coming back this time.
Okay. So the first time around, I came across Zim from some, I guess, esports colleagues that I had. Some members of other orgs were following him and retweeting his stuff all the time, and I just found it super fascinating because Zim is very passionate about literally everything that he does. And I want to say this was like late 2015, early 2016. Then I start seeing him just constantly, Eastern Media GG, and I'm like, what is this? Just
What I find really weird is how me and Crouton literally shook our heads at the same time. I don't think we were communicating something, but we might have. But there's no, I don't think we were. But yeah, I thought that was like the weirdest thing. Seeing this like a couple weeks later now, like 2 weeks later.
just like, okay, like he's starting it out. I'm gonna give him some time. We'll see where this goes. I had my journey with a couple orgs from management to content creation and just kind of was just burnout, I feel like. So I was just like, I just don't know. And I made a post on Twitter that said, you know, I just kind of want somewhere that's family. And Zim like reached out to me directly. And he was like, I feel like EMGG is where you belong. So I put it in an app and went through the whole interview process and was a community member, just a member for a while, was creating content on my own, supporting everybody else. Would go to the meetings every Sunday. And then there was a point in time where there were some people who were like, hey, I work during, you know, the scheduled meeting times. I really want to find out information. And I kind of like took it upon myself, which I shouldn't have done, to be like, hey, I'll take notes, and then I'll let you know. And Zim reached out to me and was just like, we don't do that because people were abusing the system, you know, this, and this. And even more so, I should.
That system got abused so quick when we brought it back like a couple months ago. Holy crap. It was so wild. People wonder why we don't do things. It's because people ruin it. It's simple as that. If you want stuff to happen, show up and, you know, just do the right thing. Don't sit here and you know, don't stream. If I see you streaming during the meeting, I'm just going to be real with you. Like you're not going to be, I'm not thrilled. You know, we had these meetings. I understand that this may be the only time that like you stream or do content or whatever. The case is, you can attend at least like one meeting a month, especially when they're twice a week or once every 2 weeks, excuse me. Like, just like it's just be there for an hour. You're obligated for, I don't want to say you're obligated. You're there for it. If you show up for an hour and, you know, feel like you're dragging on, just say, hey, I got to go. We understand your time's important, but show up for that hour and make that hour very productive. You learn a lot. And then you gain a lot of respect from a lot of people. And then when it comes to events and we ask people to join, your name is going to be higher on that list than the people who don't show up to meetings. Simple as that. Throw was doing it. Throw crushed it. But yeah, we saw numbers go down because people knew that the minutes were going to be there. It stinks, but it is what it is.
Shouldn't have, but I'm glad that I did. I kind of fought back and I was just like, okay, but what about the people who are truly dedicated but have like real life conflicts and can't show up? And he was just like, you know, let's talk about this in a voice chat. Give me like
those are the people that stream during that time intentionally and then review it. Those are the people that those people ruin it for those people that are actually at work.
A couple hours, and then he was just like, I feel like you get it. As far as what I'm looking for, how about being like on my community staff, like a community manager? And I was like, oh, okay. So ran with that for a little bit. We did a couple charity streams. I was really big on promoting the stream team like every week, just making sure we were reaching out to all the community members, getting everybody involved that we could, figuring out where we could improve, or what needed to change or what people wanted to see. And then the position of director opened up, and he was like, "You want this?" And I was like, "Sure, bud." So I accepted it, and it was just kind of just up and up from there. And we just would rattle ideas around, and things that stuck did, and others we'd rework it or just try to find something else. So yeah.
Scotty sounds strangely familiar. Like, processes have just continued. It's the same exact way.
I guess it's an honored tradition, and it's panned out pretty well so far. I mean, we're at 17K followers on Twitter. We got all the events that we do each week. We got the charity event coming up this weekend. As we're doing this, it's Tuesday, 9/28, and the charity stream is this Saturday. So I mean, that's gonna be exciting. I'm looking forward to that.
Charities, it's a 24-hour charity stream. I think it's gonna be fantastic. So I'm looking.
It's always
forward
fantastic.
To it. Yeah, Gamers Outreach is always a fantastic organization that we get.
Bro, the fact that we extended that shit for like 3 days is wild. I wanted to do another day, but I don't think I had it in me and the incentives to do it. And here's why. Like, a lot of my stuff is giveaways usually, and Kirsten was not around to do like the pie in the face. Like, a lot of my stuff with the charity streams involve my girlfriend, because she's like my best friend. I love her. I like to get her involved. It's her. To me, I feel like when we've done, but when she did Stack Up in 21, and then she did Gamers Outreach this past like couple weeks ago. I feel like every time we've done them, our relationship has improved. Like it just takes another step, because like we're just having fun and she's enjoying herself, of course, pie me in the face, and she gets to talk to you guys, which she doesn't really do very often. I mean, she just loves it. Like, she truly enjoys just like, and it's for her to kind of get out of her shell a little bit. She's not the most like personality person, like the most like outgoing person. So she really does enjoy it. And to me, it's a good way to increase our relationship, or to better our relationship.
It's
for the kids.
Yep, it's for the kids.
It's for the kids.
So, Lauren, what got you into content creating then? What, you mentioned that you learned to play some video games on a Sega with your brother, but what got you wanting to create content?
So originally it was actually, Crouton, you're gonna find this weird.
For them that they're able to attend.
Shit. Hold on. Sorry, chat. I thought it was 8K. I gotta blur my things just a tad.
For us to just kind of escape for a couple hours. So it's nice to have people that you can reach out to, or just even vent. I've seen people that are just like, and I'm guilty of it. I just did it last week.
Well, I can find my timestamp. Hold on.
Then I start seeing him just constantly. Eastern Media.
People wonder why we don't do things. Those are the people that those people ruin it for. $9.28, and the charity stream is this Saturday. Okay, so I mean that's
throwing these sets, and it was all very early dubstep.
Yeah, here we are.
That's what showed me what Twitch.
Sorry
was.
about that, guys.
And I was just like, okay, so then you go through the directory and you kind of scroll through and you realize like who's playing what. And I was part of a gaming community that we did really just StarCraft. So we would stream like what we called on Tuesday nights. It was like our training nights where we would take everybody who was in the same division and put them against each other and figure out how you could beat each other, and gain skills off of each other and everything else, different strategies. So I started streaming those, and that's kind of like slowly built a following from that. Then I would stream like World of Warcraft, and built a following from that as well. And it just like, for me, it was almost therapeutic. I have like super bad anxiety. So it was a way for me to kind of like break out of my shell a little bit and be like more comfortable with me, but still like show people that I was super passionate about something, but just like kind of from the comfort of my own home, but then not really because it's all over the internet, but
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. No, I know the feeling. I know
Yeah.
the feeling. So, what are some of your passions outside of Eastern media?
Well, you can kind of see it over there, but I love the Seattle Sounders, like love them. I have been to 4 matches this year.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Didn't you get proposed before one?
Yeah. So it was actually before, arguably one of.
Low key, I was kind of upset that she didn't mention that she got proposed because like that's a happy moment in your life. Maybe I don't know if she didn't want to like get into it too much, but that was one of the questions. I figured she was gonna bring up these Seattle Saunders, and I just kind of asked her about the question, but I'm surprised she didn't like bring it up until I like asked her.
The biggest matches of the season. So we play Portland Timbers, which is our rival, because we're right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just, arguably one of the biggest events of the season for the Sounders, and then as well Lauryn, which is the women's team that plays out of Tacoma. But yeah, he dropped the question pretty much right as we were walking out the door, and from like that point until we kind of got into Lumen Field, which was called CenturyLink, I was just kind of like speechless. And then we get there and I'm even more speechless because I'm just like, okay, like this is the biggest game of the year. Like this is arguably the biggest day of my life. Like so much is happening. What do I do? So, but yeah.
Always fun stories.
Yeah.
Always some fun stories.
Yeah.
So, what is life like being back in Eastern media?
It's wild. I'm not even gonna lie. I am really, really happy with the direction that it's headed. Not to say that I wasn't happy with how it was before. I am super stoked that we have a wellness team. I think that's really, really important, especially for content creators, and just people in the gaming community in general. Because, we all have real lives when, we shut off the consoles. And
I realized how close my camera was. I don't know why I did this. Like, this is really close. Looking back on it.
This is kind of like an escape for us. And sometimes problems extend a little bit further than for us to just kind of escape for a couple hours. So it's nice to have people that you can reach out to, or just even vent. I've seen people that are just like, and I'm guilty of it. I just did it last week, So it's really nice to just have like that sounding board where you're like, hey, I'm dealing with this. I don't really know what I should do. And somebody's there like, hey, like what you're feeling is completely valid. Like, you're not just kind of like screaming into an echo chamber about it, which is really nice. So I love that. I love how we have a TikTok now, which is really, really nice. I think that's kind of fun. Yeah, like it's a lot of fun. I'm really excited to see where the whole Snapchat thing goes. I think that's been entertaining so far.
I mean, listen, I'm just excited. Saturdays are my day to take over the Snapchat.
Oh Lord.
Which means it's all my stories on Saturdays are gonna be me live at events that I'm actually DJing, and it's gonna be great. Like, actually to get to see people to see me DJ live is gonna be kind of cool.
Yeah,
so I'm excited for that. Yeah.
I'm actually really stoked. Like, and I was gonna ask you about that too. Like, what you're
Yeah.
planning on doing with that?
Oh
if
yeah.
you
Oh
even-
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
you will. People will be seeing lots and lots of bar and bat mitzvahs. It's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be great. But I mean, like when I get into the zone of me, like mixing and going, like it gets crazy. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. So I'm excited to share with people kind of what I get to do on our Eastern Media GG day off.
Nice.
So yeah. Yeah. So, we've talked about your journey in Eastern Media, what brought you to Eastern Media. We've talked about what brought you back to Eastern Media. Let's talk about some video games. What games have you been enjoying?
So Phasmophobia is at the top of the list for me right now.
Lord.
Definitely that and Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
I've been having a blast. I'm not gonna lie, Pinhead is really tough to play against, but probably my favorite killer to play against as a survivor. I have also kind of delved back into Apex as well as Fortnite.
I'll be honest. I miss playing Dead by Daylight. I need to get back to it on stream. I need to remake some thumbnails for that. Like, I want to get back to my variety games that I've been doing, but like, I haven't played them because the New World's been so addicting.
Fortnite.
Fortnite.
I know, it's just so
Trash
fun.
game.
I don't know. There's something about it, and who was it? Tuna told me yesterday. He sent me a DM on Twitter, and he was like, "Check this out." So they have a Seattle Sounders skin and
Yes.
colorway.
Yep.
So I'm just like, okay, yep, this is happening. So yeah.
I don't know if it's still in the item shop anymore. It may
Oh,
have,
Is it?
It may have been rotated out.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
like the soccer ones. Yeah.
I was a little disappointed. See, I'm an Arsenal fan.
Okay.
And there's a Man City
Yeah.
and a West Ham skin.
Yeah.
But there was no Arsenal skin, and I was like,
Dude,
"This is
no one
this is
cares
not
about
cool."
Arsenal.
And that's kind of shocking to me too, because like we're a Liverpool household, and if I say anything other than that, then my fiance's gonna freak out. Like, truth be told, I was actually a Man U fan before we even started dating, and I wore the jersey around him, and he was like, "Take that off now," and I was like, "Okay." So I learned very quickly, but I love Liverpool. I do. I'm honestly shocked there's no Man U, and there was no Liverpool there either. Like
It was
it's
crazy.
shocking to me.
I was playing last night with my nephew, or Monday night with my nephew. Monday nights are typically our night that I get to game with my 10-year-old nephew, which is kind of cool. But he was like, "Oh, the soccer skins are in the shop," and I'm like, "Yeah, but there's no Arsenal skin." And my brother's an Arsenal fan, my nephews are Arsenal fans, so we were, yeah, this. I as much as I want to spend the V-Bucks on this, it's not worth it.
Right. You
So-
don't get to rep your club, so like,
I
what's
know.
the point, you know?
Exactly.
Um,
So, what are some of your favorite games that you've ever played or you have been playing?
Ooh. I don't know if I'm gonna get hate for this, but I feel like my favorite game that I've ever played is probably CS:GO.
We have some
Shockingly
CS:GO
enough.
fans in
Yeah.
the org, so
Yeah.
I'll be honest, CS:GO's died in fucking EMGG. I don't know why the heck we say no. Like, CS:GO used to be relatively big in EM, but like literally we're like, oh yeah, we got some fans. Nah, fam, like we don't. Sorry, Lauren. But like we sat there like it used to be popular, then obviously Valorant came along. But a lot of members that played CS left. And that's been the big thing.
Not a big deal.
Every time I say that, they're like, "Oh, you know, like that game makes me rage so hard. Like, why would you ever like find any enjoyment in that?" But I feel like that's the game that I've learned the most on and have been able to, you know, compete at a somewhat small level. So, it's got the best memories for me. Right now, I would probably say my favorite game is Phasmo, even though it scares the absolute daylight out of me. It's just
The jump scares.
oh yeah, that I get to a point where I have been brave enough and I just can't go past the threshold of the front door. And I'll just like go in enough to where I can hear the ambient noise so I'm considered in the house. but I can't do anything further than that. Like my anxiety is just like, no, you're done, you're cut off. So yeah.
Yeah, see, these are games that I don't get to play.
These are games I refuse to play. I could never play. Have you seen my clip? Does Tuna sent you my clip of me jump scaring in Dead by Daylight when we used Dixper? He did. Yo, I was so pissed that Tuna did that shit too. I was so mad when Tuna did that. like that genuinely scared me. Jump scared, and like I jumped out of my seat.
I'm gonna have to ask Tuna for that.
I'll probably put it up on the podcast real quick. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Another episode of me saying something, I'm gonna put it up and not putting it up. You know what? That's a tweet right there. That's a tweet.
All right, so Lauren, it is that time for some plugs from you. Let the people know where they can find you on social media. Let them know where they can find you on streams. Just let them know where they can find you.
All right. So social media, the only one that I have right now is my Twitter. And it's at LAUBENE1. Twitch, you can find me. It's twitch.tv/R3SOLV3 Resolve. That's my old tag. I don't like, and it's weird because I don't know what I really don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I don't know if I want to fully rebrand or if I just want to stick. Like, I don't know. I just kind of did R3 for short for now to see how I feel about it. Theta, I've made an account. I'm thinking maybe I might swap over. So yeah, and that's just the same as my Twitch right now.
Do you have the key for Theta yet, or?
I do not. No.
George.
Yeah, George.
George, hit up.
Yeah, George. We may need some. We may need some help getting a Theta stream key.
Yeah.
I know I have one still going in my grand giveaway, but I don't even know how to end my grand giveaway.
It ends
anymore.
when it ends.
It ends when it ends, man.
It ends when it ends.
It ends when it ends, and it ships when it ships.
It ends when it ends, and I mean,
it ships when it ships, and it ends when it ends, man.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. All right, Scotty. Are you ready?
I know. Yeah. The question is, are you ready? I won last week, right?
No, I won last week. I won it. I won.
I'm zoning
on the T
out.
episode. I
won.
The
T episode, yeah, you did win. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Here we go. Here we go.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Bro, I can't even see your hand. Okay.
Oh!
I win. He's trying to cheat on me.
All right, Scotty.
All right, I guess I start this thing off. Is that what the winner does?
Yeah, that's what the winner does.
Alrighty, this is from, speaking of community members and all those great things. Yo, the fact that like we genuinely know who, like when it gets to this point in the podcast, like we genuinely don't know like who goes first or second. Like it's really weird. Like we don't like usually like there's certain topics I take over and then there's certain topics he takes over, but like we sat there like every single episode like we get to this point we just don't know who's gonna go first because like I don't think we just think about this part because it's questions and then we like wrap it up and then we like throw out or we questions announcements and then we wrap it up. Basically that's kind of how it. Tuna, speaking of Tuna, yeah, you were previously with EMGG. Now that you are back, what has changed the most?
The membership numbers are through the roof in comparison to what EMGG used to be. I want to say, and Zim's probably going to quote me on this, and I'm really sorry, bud. I think there was maybe like 100 members, something like that, just even in the Discord. I know we were shooting for that number, so then it wouldn't show like the offline members like on the side of the Discord. And now just to have like 1,000 people in the Discord has been wild.
It throws me off that she was in the Discord when there was legitimately like 100 people and like MGG wasn't too much relevant. So I think like that's just like a cool aspect that like imagine seeing the Discord like then and now, and how small the Discord used to be. Because like the Discord, or like what text chats were there, what voice chats, what roles existed at that time.
It's absolutely
Because it's changed so much.
insane.
Yeah, that, and it's just like we don't just really have just Twitch streamers anymore either. There's a lot of YouTubers. We got a lot of people that are on Theta. So that's really been exciting to see, just kind of like the branch out as far as where everybody's putting content out.
We got those Mixer streamers. Oh wait, no, that doesn't exist anymore.
Ah,
Never mind.
yeah.
They went to
See,
Facebook and then they
and I
went back
didn't
to
even
Twitch.
know.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. Like, I kind of like, and I had to. Like, I had to fall off the face of the earth for a couple years so I could get like my personal stuff taken care of. But like, I didn't realize that Beam/Mixer, whatever it was no longer a thing. So I came back and I was just like, okay, where's Mixer at? And everybody's like, wow, you have been under a rock. And I was like, yes. What happened?
Yeah, that whole situation was a fun one. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right. So our next question comes from our director of media,
Oh,
Mr.
boy.
Maze Ninja himself, and Maze wants to know, when are you going to carry me on Fortnite again?
As soon as possible, buddy.
So,
Love you.
so Sunday night? You mean like after this episode when we do our community game night, which is Fortnite?
It is. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
The
Fan-
only thing that kind of sucks about that is that I work until
that is
like
true.
9 p.m. Eastern. So as soon as I'm home, buddy, I promise I'll hop on and I'll give you the hard carries. I'll be
It's
your
an eight.
or
It's an eight.
be my backpack. It's fine.
It's 8 to 11.
We're 8 to 11 on Sunday night. So
Perfect.
hosted by me.
Making
I'm
the
taking-
debut.
I'm taking the
love it.
reins. I'm taking.
Bro, deep down, I was so fucking happy to see Crouton host community night because for those that don't know, Crouton doesn't stream. So like to see him like actually stream, it was interesting to watch and to kind of see a different side of him from the podcast because, I think he was still nervous just because of the charity stream was still going on, but like you see the fun side of him comes out. And I think recently, the past couple episodes, you kind of see him come out a little bit more and more and more. And it's been cool to watch.
Taking the reins.
I'm
so-
excited. I'm excited
All
that
right.
you're doing this.
Yeah. I mean.
I got the next question.
Yeah.
So this is from good old Illuminari YT. What got you into content creation? Why did you choose Eastern Media as your home?
Content creation, what got me into it is just kind of seeing what my peers were doing. And it was kind of just inspiring to me that I was just like, wow, I can literally, and all I had at the time was like a Toshiba notebook. So I was streaming
Ooh.
off of a laptop, and still able to play games, and it was on Wi-Fi, and it really wasn't even that bad. So you're talking like 2011, so me saying it's really not even that bad, it was probably terrible. Like, I won't even lie.
480p.
Yeah, like it was, it was good for the time. It was what it was. So
I mean, I'm streaming off of a laptop, so.
oh well, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess like when I went like full-fledged into it, late 2015, early 2016, I wanted to find a way to kind of cope with my anxiety by thinking outside the box. So that's really what got me into it. As far as picking EMGG as my home, my family's here. Like, I can't think of a better place to be. So like, of course, like Eastern Media GG will always be my home. By the way, it's just one word, it's not three. But yeah, that's
I'm glad she knows.
The fact that we've joked about this almost every episode since we've done since Mace typed Eastern Media GG spaced out on stream is the funniest. Like, to me, it's the most hilarious thing we've done. And I absolutely love it every single day. But every time we do the announcements, we always throw in the one word, and it's always awesome.
I mean, it's
Dude, someone put 2 words in this. I'm not gonna call this person out, but they put 2 words in one of the questions. Bro,
I did.
yo, the fact that I actually saw that, like, no bullshit, this was in a question. And I was like, I don't want to say I was mad, but I was kind of frustrated because I'm like, you see us on Twitter that it's one word. There's people that I've seen that are like, I'm not gonna call them out because I'm not I'm not that human, but like I've sat there and like they're like they have a role, and it still was spaced out, and I just sat there genuinely confused. I'm like, fam, you gotta change this.
They did, but we're not gonna call that. We won't call out that person. So.
Oh.
No,
All right.
I got it.
So I believe the next question is me, and this
Yeah.
is the first question from this person. Wellness team member Tori.
I love seeing my
wants
dog.
to know if you
We
had
love
to pick
Tori.
one
Tori
food
always
to eat
gives
for
us
the
some
rest of your
questions,
life,
and I like that.
what would it
I
be
respect that shit.
and why?
Tori out here asking the hard questions.
You just see Marsha get comfortable.
If I had to eat one food for the rest of my life, probably sushi.
I
I'm gonna go
respect
with
it.
Sushi.
I
Yeah,
respect it. I'm a big sushi fan, so I completely respect that decision.
yeah. Sushi just because it's like super versatile. Yeah, I, you can do whatever with sushi, and it's still sushi. So
Sorry, Scotty.
yeah, sorry, Scotty.
Stupid. Sushi,
Love you,
like
bud.
fish is stupid.
Oh,
We got another question from Tori. Being a female in content creation can be pretty difficult. With that being said, what is something you find to be the easiest about content creation?
Honestly, the easiest is just being myself. Like you see a lot of people that they put on like a facade or it's like a whole act, like when they start streaming. For me, it was I could unapologetically be myself for as long as I had, the OBS up or, XSplit in some cases, and that's just-
Expo.
yeah. So that's actually what I started on was XSplit and then switched over to OBS. I even paid for the subscription for the year, if only I could speak.
The fact that I actually don't realize that she said that she subscribed to XSplit really baffles me because, no offense, XSplit's a shitty ass software. I'm just gonna be real. I'm sorry. They will. I could never be sponsored by that product personally. My God, that is rough. I just remember trying to scale stuff and it wasn't work. Like I couldn't scale it the way I wanted to at all. Like at the time when I tried it, it was not user friendly.
But yeah,
The only reason I did try it was because an old org that I was under was partnered with XSplit, so I gave it a shot.
it's just me unapologetically being me for, however long that I'm live. I know I killed Scotty again. I feel so bad.
it's
Look,
okay.
It's so bad. It is
I
so
know.
bad. I think I forgot to change my white balance on my
I
camera.
kill Scotty all the time, so it's okay.
Yeah. I don't know what it's like now, but it was okay in 2011, and that's honestly what I learned off of. So for me to come from that over to OBS was like a cakewalk, because I pretty much knew inputs and whatever, and I was just like, okay, great, like, just jump right into it. So.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, when I first started streaming, I was streaming off of my PS4 using the integration into Twitch.
But that's not bad
Yeah.
though. Other people do that. It's not like that's like, I mean, sometimes you can get some really good quality out of your PlayStation or Xbox, depending on what year it was purchased.
So, all right, our next question comes from Director of Content. And last week,
No, I wish I could ask this question. Oh, I'm so pissed. I am so pissed.
Podcast guest T, and T wants to know, what is your all-time favorite Subaru?
Subaru.
Oh no, you guys are
I was so
digging
pissed
on
that he
my
got the answer to that
profile and
asked that
everything.
question.
Oh man, my all-time favorite Subaru. Subaru. Oh, I want to say like the 05 to 07 WRX STI.
It's a great model.
Yeah,
Great
I love
model.
those. And then I had the Scion version, the FRS, but the BRZ is
Okay.
gorgeous. I love those. I see those out here everywhere, and they seem to survive the tough Seattle roads really well. So that might be my next purchase. Right now I have an '04 Outback that is an absolute tank, and I love her.
Jeez, you can hear myself breathing. I
She's
hate
just
that.
about
I'm
as
actually mad.
temperamental as me, so it's a perfect fit. But yeah, yeah, '05 to '07 STIs are probably my favorite.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, Scotty.
Oh lord, this is kind of an us question, I think.
It is.
This is
but
from.
we can-
Yeah, we could get Lauryn in this. Yeah. This is the formidable M1 on Twitter, which I believe is formidable
Jesus.
mongoose. I'm like pronunciation guide alert. Shit.
Yep.
What is in the works for engaging more with EU, UK members and non-members? And before I say this, I feel like this is one of those things where like, we've sat here and we've tried thinking of ideas, and no matter what, we feel like it's not gonna work. I think that is our fear.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to. I don't know.
We've sat here, try to find a plan for EU, and we haven't figured out a good plan that we want to do, and it stinks. Literally, it's on our mind every week. It's whatever we try to do, we don't think it's just gonna work, and we want something to work. Our fear, I think, is if we try something and it's gonna look bad if it doesn't fall the way, it doesn't go the way we want it, and then upper management is gonna pull the plug, and it's just gonna cause chaos. So once we have that plan, like, and even like people that want to give us feedback on like what you want to see from the EU side, like let us know, please.
I would love to run some events that are dedicated to them. And it's just kind of finding the time, even if it's a daytime event, and having somebody on the community team run something for them.
Bless you,
that
puppy.
They're able to attend,
you
and
chewing
hang out and vibe out. I mean, I think the biggest thing is we want people to hang out, and that's part of the reason why we have the Hangout voice chat, is because it's one of those places that people can come and drop in any time of the day and just vibe out with each other. So I think the first step is kind of starting with trying to get them more active in voice chat during the day, seeing if people are there, or just hopping in and getting to know them. That's my first thought. So that's my take on it. I don't know, Scotty, your take on it.
I feel like that
Lauryn,
summarizes it. Lauryn,
Yeah,
do you have
Lauryn.
any thoughts? A former two-time, the two-time. Another Doc reference just comes in my head every time I hear two-time.
Two-time.
I just need like the MMA bell, like just a ding ding. But yeah,
You mean one of these?
that works too. I mean, we
Jesus
can do that.
Christ.
I've thought about this far and wide. I feel like probably the best way to tackle it is kind of reach out to who we have, like EU, UK right now, and see like what works time zone wise, what doesn't, and then maybe even like branch out. And I'm not saying like build like another division, so to speak, but like maybe just like add people into the community team that are more like responsive or active, that it's more friendly for EU UK, so that way you can hold those events, you can do those hangouts, you can do ride parades and stuff like that, that are more centric to EU but can also involve the US and not have it like a separate entity. That would be, you know, kind of neat.
Nice. All right, so our last question comes from Tori again, and I think this is probably my favorite question of all three of hers.
Wait, this was a
and it
Tory
is-
question?
This was a Tori question.
You didn't put it as a Tory question in the script.
I'm aware I didn't.
And my keyboard's broken, by the way, so that's why I haven't been able to type. I think I unplugged it when I went to move my camera.
All right.
Fun fact, I think, so I have a dual PC setup and I don't use it the way I want to. I just don't have the podcast graphics on my streaming PC yet. Maybe I just do that this week and just start recording off here. But like literally I think I unplugged my keyboard by accident rather than my foot pedal that I usually unplug when I plug in my webcam. So that was It was really weird. It was a really weird episode for me because usually I'm able to type and like communicate with Curdy, but it didn't happen this
So,
episode.
Lauren, if you could pick any department in Eastern Media to become a staff member of,
This was a 100% staged question by Curdy. This wasn't a Tori question. That was me. I think that was me kind of winging it. I don't remember. Tori may have sent it. I don't remember, but that was kind of the question we were going to stage on the announcement. So,
which would it be and why?
I love this. And I saw this on Twitter earlier, and I loved it even then too. I definitely feel like, although I could see myself literally in any department, I find something like positively rewarding about being part of a community team. I feel like that's where I best fit. I love being social. I love reaching out with people. It's fun to throw events and to see people just come together. It's just, it's a good time. You see everybody in chat and they're just like, oh, what's up? I haven't seen you all week, or I haven't seen you in a couple days, this, and this. And, they get all excited, and it's a good time, and then you see all these like groups that form like and hang out that you wouldn't even think that like would get together, and it's just everybody's in there just vibing. So it's just like, for me, like community kind of like kicks that off with like the events, and like, for example, this podcast. Like I wouldn't know half the things that I know about people that you've had on the podcast if it weren't for the podcast. Like it's just, you kind of get to know people and go from there, and then you find like common ground, and it's even like that with events too. Like you find out what games people like to play, and you can play those games with people, and you kind of just you build bonds that you probably wouldn't be able to get anywhere else. So that's
So community team.
Yeah.
Scotty, I think we do have an opening on the team.
I mean, let's just give her the paperwork while we're at it. Let's just finalize that.
I'm pretty sure that it is my great pleasure to announce officially on the podcast our newest community team member, Lauryn.
Stop.
Welcome back to the community team. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We are so thrilled to have you back on the team. We are so thrilled when we saw you apply for community team that we knew instantly that we wanted you back on the team. So congratulations, welcome to the team.
Hey, teammates.
This was kind of the cool thing that I had spoken to Zim about when we knew that you were this week's episode guest. So we were kind of like, all right, let's announce it on the podcast. So congratulations. Welcome to the team.
Thank you.
We will get everything going for you as soon as possible. So that's what we got. That's our questions of the week.
That's it.
Announcements, as always. Our first announcement is our new community team member, Lauryn. So congratulations.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Why do I clap
As
every
always,
episode?
upload your banger footage.
I still don't understand why I do it. Is it just me trying to hype it up?
Clip of the week is up on Wednesdays, I believe.
Yeah, Wednesdays. I think that was in there from T-Script.
Yep. If you want your photo to be in the intro, please submit your photo to the EMGG photo folder in the drive. There's some fantastic photos of everybody wearing their champion merch. Scotty, you gotta get some of those into the intro.
I've included 2 new ones. I just gotta go through Twitter. Bro, they're all square photos. Can you please landscape photos? It's not hard. Like, geez, because people don't know how to upload it to Drive.
I believe there is a folder that Zim has been uploading all of the champion photos to in the drive.
Yo,
yeah.
Say less, fam. I'm probably gonna put it up this week.
Yeah.
Say less.
So our next week's guest is a surprise. We will announce that when the episode airs. We will have that announced. As always, you can check us out on every single social media platform. That's going to be Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and that is at Eastern Media GG. One word. The podcast is available on YouTube for the video version that you are watching right now. The audio version.
I did this back-to-back weeks.
And iTunes under the label The Meeting Before the Meeting, or just look up Eastern Media GG. That's one word. emgg.live for our Twitch channel, emgg.tv for our Theta channel, and easternmedia.gg for our website. You can pick up some new merch. Scotty's displaying one of the pieces. It is
This was
awesome.
an epic fail because I forgot.
This is a really
I thought they had.
shirt, by the way, shout out.
So I thought they had the triangle. Funny enough, I'm wearing this shirt. I thought they had the triangle on the back, but I think the black has the triangle on the back, which I'm pissed because I hate wearing black shirts. But yeah, that's why that was an epic fail. But it's just the typeface logo on the back.
This is a banger. I like the quality of the shirt's actually like, really good.
But that being said, if you are going to pick up some merch, first and foremost, pay your bills.
Pay your
That's all we
bills.
Pay the bills.
Pay your bills. Scotty, that's the show. Lauren, thank you so much for joining us for episode 12 of the Meeting Before the Meeting podcast. Please hang out with us tonight. Community Game Night, Fortnite, hosted by myself. So it's going to be a good time. So we'll see you guys in the games. Have a good one.
Hey guys.
They hit the wall again. Okay, that was good. I enjoyed that episode. It was nice to announce Lauryn to community team. She killed it. She crushed it. She held her own. And I'm excited to work with her.